You're listening to the Platte River Bard.
Hello, and welcome to the Platte River Bard. This is Chris Berger.
And I'm Sherry Berger.
And we are here today with Moira Mangiameli and also Ryan Kathman. Now, Moira is the director of the Twelfth Night, which is going to be at the Benson Theatre on April 28th. Ryan Kathman is going to be in Twelfth Night, as well as Delaney Jackson, and that is April 28th through the 30th. And apparently there's something a little bit different about this particular version of Twelfth Night that you guys are doing, not the standard version, and we would love to hear all about it. Thank you to both for joining us here virtually this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Well, so you are in rehearsals and you are in the midst of it. How is it going?
It's great. I mean, it's very different because you may or may not know that this version of Twelfth Night has only 2 actors playing all of the roles.
Ooh.
So I think both the actors and myself are often running into the forgetting that you're saying, oh, and then this character comes on, and then you go, oh, but you're there. So we just keeps coming up like every night. So it's been very challenging, but also really delightful. These 2 actors are something. So I don't think any actor could have pulled this off, but they're great. So
Absolutely. This has to be just a ton of dialogue.
Oh, yeah.
And giving yourself your own cues.
Right.
Yeah, it's a special kind of hell, in the best way.
Sure.
It's certainly a really theatrical concept that I think kind of, I don't know, allows us and the audience to wink at what we're doing and that it's, meant to be fun and loose and not take itself too seriously. But at the same time, we're hoping that there's some semi-surprising moments of sincerity and honesty that manages to come through because it's right there in the text. I mean, I think one of the dangers of approaching Shakespeare is to take it too seriously. I don't think he took, the work all that seriously, considering the number of low humor that is in a lot of these things. And
for sure.
So, we get to have fun with that. And then hopefully, you get walloped with a little bit of pathos every so often as well.
Right. And you are kind of am I wrong, a Shakespeare connoisseur because you've done other Shakespeare plays?
Yeah, well, I don't speak French, but I'm certainly a mega fan and a big geek about it, and I get to I teach at Nebraska Wesleyan University. I'm teaching a playing Shakespeare class right now, so
nice.
It's been nice this semester to be re-immersed in it again. After the last time I got to work on a show was at the Blue Barn, their production of King Lear last year, and that's where it's not where I met Delaney, but it's the first time I got to work with Delaney. But no, I've been lucky enough to adapt and direct and act in, I think it's safe to say dozens of different productions at this point. So I can't get enough. And I know Moira is the same way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Ryan actually, this particular adaptation, Ryan did. So he's the one that did the cutting.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And that was one of the things I was going to ask is because I wasn't aware of a script that was written for 2 people, but you've adapted it to be that.
Well, there's one now, yeah.
Yeah.
But
that's great.
What's been great is even that part of it, I think, has been more collaborative than I might have expected because I did do the initial cutting, but in rehearsals, we have found lots of great little trims and tweaks. Sometimes it's cutting more lines here and there. Sometimes it's just maybe rearranging things enough so that they still make sense, but it allows for the logistics, the mechanics of somebody to switch back and forth between a role without as much difficulty. And one of the biggest things that I had to do for this that I haven't necessarily had to do in the past was finding scenes where it made sense to give lines that were written for one character to another character without hopefully damaging the integrity of the thing at all. Okay. A quick example is that in the subplot of this play, you have these mostly lower class characters who are all playing a horrible prank on Malvolio, who is a very holier than thou guy. And one of those is this character, Fabian. We decided, feel a little sad for Fabian fans out there, but we decided to cut Fabian. We didn't really need him. And so any of his lines managed to pretty easily go to either Sir Toby or Sir Andrew or Mariah, who are all kind of part of this little confederacy that's ganging up on Malvolio. And that's worked out okay, I think. So.
Yeah, it's great.
Wow. So then how many characters do you have exactly that's in this adaptation?
One time or another, I had a number in my head, but I think it's probably in the range of 15 total. Okay. 14 or so, maybe. 14, so we each play about 7 or 8 in there, and we could have had more, but it's one of the things that's nice about this play is it's kind of a nice domestic comedy. It just kind of happens in this, fictional island land of Illyria. We're not entirely clear with it. We know there's a beach. We know it's coastal, right. But and it kind of just takes place between these two households, these two kind of wealthy citizens who live there.
That's part of the reason I think why we decided we wanted to do 12th Night, other than the fact that it's both of ours. We both really love the play. It's my favorite of his comedies. Okay. But it is more contained. I mean, you get Midsummer Night's Dream and you have all of these people and all of these characters. It would have been crazy.
Someday. Maybe we'll do that one with 3 people.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So how do you handle all the costumes then? Is there any big costume situation?
We just have like costume pieces. So it might be a hat. There might be a pair of sunglasses. There might be, it's just a scarf or just little things. So, and certainly that's been challenging. Sometimes it's like, wait, where do we put it? Where is it? So trying to figure out where it was and how do I get over there and grab it and then come back in and play the character. So a lot of logistics, as Ryan said, but it's been kind of fun.
That does sound fun.
Especially for me, since I don't have to figure it out.
Are you doing a big set with this, or kind of a more of a basic set, or what are you doing set-wise with this?
It's real. It's very basic. We have some trellises, and we have a couple of garden benches and some trees, and then Benson Theatre has a huge screen that comes down and covers a lot of the stage. And so we will be projecting like beaches and some garden, those kind of things. So it's pretty simple, pretty basic.
Cool.
Yeah, but that'll help with all the transitions. I mean, and
I tend to think of it a little bit like Commedia dell'arte, where we have to just quickly go behind a simple screen and change something and come right back out again, and we're somebody new. I mean, we're not putting on masks like they did in that tradition, but we kind of are. We're kind of just putting on a hat as a mask or a scarf or something.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's exciting. So Moira, you're getting to flex your director muscle on this though, so that's got to be fun for you.
It has been fun, and it's funny because in my head, I knew when we started this that this is going to be different. I really had no idea how much it was going to kick my butt. But really, so many times my brain is like, it just gets twisted into knots trying to figure out. But again, I just have had the gift of having actors like Ryan and Delaney who are so on top of things. And we also have a wonderful assistant director, stage manager, Jaron Kais. And we've really, the 4 of us have been able to pretty much figure out anything that came up between us, and it's been very collaborative. It's been fun.
So then by cutting some of those other characters, then did it changed your time then a little bit? So this is like an hour and a half show, 2 hours. Still?
We hope so. We're
fingers crossed.
Working out all the mechanics has meant that it's been difficult to get an exact run on it, but I have an unscientific way of reasoning that it should be 90 minutes. It should be about 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's kind of a fast Shakespeare. Not 10 minutes like some of them, but
Yes, exactly.
you get a little bit better story. Well, that sounds great. We're so excited. And Delaney is wonderful. And Ryan, I know that you've done so much. And you said that you taught at Wesleyan. Do you want to talk a little bit about
Yes,
your
please.
role there?
Oh, sure. I mean, I'm in my 6th year here. I'm also an alum. I graduated here from so many years I'm not going to tell you. But
Fair enough.
I've been an assistant professor here, and I teach acting and directing classes. So I direct typically 2 shows a year, and I also head up recruitment efforts. So for the theater department. So little plug there for any high school students, theater students who are interested, because we have 5 BFAs, and I think a really appealing program for someone who is looking for a liberal arts education. And I'm going to start my spiel. I won't get into it, but
No, that's okay.
but no, I do really feel like it's been coming home, a homecoming for me, not just because of having gone there, but I've kind of lived a few other places since being raised in Nebraska. And as far as the Lincoln, and now only recently getting a little more involved in the Omaha theater community. It's been a lot of fun to discover all the different companies and opportunities there are for people to work as theater artists in the area.
Yeah. What drew you to this role and to decide to do something in Omaha?
Drew me to this project? Well, I mean, the short version is that since Moira started working at Benson, she was, we were both interested in looking for an opportunity, a way to produce something there that we could work on together, and that maybe was tied to Shakespeare. The real backstory of this that I guess can't be avoided and has to be mentioned is that over 10 years ago, I developed a one-man version of Hamlet, which is just as pretentious as it sounds. And I called it One Ham Manlet.
Perfect.
I thought cute. And it was really meant to be, and ultimately was a slightly lighter, more comedic, again, lots of winking. And this is one guy up here trying to play. And in that one, I actually played like 20 roles. But I've done that a number of different places, not much in Nebraska, but I did it at the Nebraska Repertory Company. And I used to live in Memphis, so I did it a number of times there. And so originally we thought maybe this would be a chance to revive it here and do it again at Benson. And when we met to talk about it, and I couldn't help myself, and I mentioned I've been toying around in my head of ideas about either doing adapting another Shakespeare play, either as another solo piece, or I was more interested in possibly doing something with a partner. So I think that, you can talk that seemed to be something that sounded interesting to her. And so then we started kicking around ideas about what play might work for 2 people to do, and who could that other person be. We very quickly came to the idea of Delaney, just because we both worked with her before and really enjoyed her work so much. So that's kind of the impetus of it all. Yeah.
That sounds great. So Moira, you're in your new role at Benson, and you've been able to do some other things. So what are you going to plan next after this?
We actually, in May, we have auditions coming up for Hair. We're going to be doing Hair next fall, opening in September. Yeah. So, and we have a great team. Boston Reed is going to be our music director, and Courtney Stein will be choreographer. And I'm going to be jumping into that as soon as I get a little bit of a rest after this one.
Right, that'll keep you busy.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. We are so excited to see you guys do all of these wonderful things at Benson. It's not just theater, it's so many other things. But we love all the productions that you guys are doing, and just really are honored to talk to you about this. I think it's very exciting. So thank you for the time.
Absolutely.
Well, you guys have been so great about always reaching out to us and making sure that you get the word out to. So it's great. We're new. We've only been around for just a little over a year. So it's anything. And we'll take all the help we can get to get the word out, because people don't they haven't heard so much.
Oh,
So,
you got a wonderful space there, that's for sure.
And that's
it's
what we're here
just
for
gorgeous,
anyway, so,
and
yeah.
I've seen a few things there, and I've loved everything I've seen. And I'm a sucker for Shakespeare, and also for anybody's new sort of spin on Shakespeare. So the two-man Twelfth Night sounds like a
Pretty
ton
wonderful.
of fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
it will be. They make me laugh every night. So
And I really appreciate how Benson works with other theatrical organizations in the area, other theaters, and like Opera Omaha, partners like that. So I appreciate
Yeah, you guys-
seeing,
yeah.
seeing them all work together.
It's always a lot. Yeah, no, Benson is always partnering up with other folks.
it's a big part of who we want to be and who we're trying to be. It really to make it a shared community space and not just a rental house and not just a theater. That it's a place that
Right.
anybody in the communities, so many communities in Omaha, but
Right.
can feel like it's a safe place. It's their space. So
That's great. That's great. Well, we're so blessed in Eastern Nebraska to have so many creatives. So it's so great
right.
that
Oh, yes, absolutely.
that you are supporting them. So
I'm curious what Professor Kathman thinks about older students possibly going back to school at
this a side
Wesleyan.
conversation?
Maybe we'll see.
More than welcome. Yeah, we have had at least in my time there, a few non-traditional students, if that's a word I can use,
Sure.
and they're the best because they have they have plenty to teach me and the undergrads, the more traditional undergrads as well. So yeah, come on back because we will always have roles for folks who have a little more experience under their belt.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
and Wesleyan's busy. I mean, that's something that I've always noticed.
Yeah.
You pretty much
Yeah.
have productions running right on top of each other. Or right
Yeah,
after
it's
each
a
other.
little bit it's ambitious to the point of insanity. We do 8 to 10 main stage shows a year, and I also tend to right now I'm kind of heading up the student directed productions, and like those are being done as part of my classes, and
Cool.
we have around 30 student directed productions every year
Wow.
too. So, but it's great. There's just no shortage of learning on the job and opportunity. In fact, just to tie it to Shakespeare, the last student production that was done was a student-directed production of Midsummer Night's Dream. And
Okay.
it was excellent. It was really well done, and it's exciting to see students who have a lot of enthusiasm about Shakespeare. There's several students who come to our school because we do Shakespeare every year. We're committed to that. So
I have noticed that. Okay, I did notice that.
with unfortunately the loss of Nebraska Shakespeare, it's incumbent upon a lot of us to try to fill that gap because
For sure.
it was just a huge draw. It was really important to the community,
Yeah.
to the Omaha community. And so Benson Theatre is absolutely committed to trying to do something with a Shakespeare play every year.
Oh,
And I think other other theaters will be too. So
if you had a favorite Shakespeare play, what would it be?
I've got boring, predictable answers because I made a one-man show out of my favorite
Okay,
Shakespeare play.
fair enough.
And this, absolutely, I'm with Moira. This is my favorite of his comedies,
Favorite comedy,
no
yeah.
question. And then I've already mentioned the other play that I often say, and it sounds pretentious too, that Hamlet's my favorite, but I would probably make the case that King Lear is his best. I feel like
Okay.
it's maybe the greatest of his plays. But and then Tempest is right there as well.
This is good.
Yeah, it's hard. It's like pick your favorite child.
yeah,
Yeah.
King Lear's my favorite.
King Lear's your favorite? Yeah.
Yeah, and they're in a theater, so they can't say any of that one.
Can't say that other
They
one.
can't say
Well,
the other
it's,
one.
it's the Scottish play. Is what it is.
Well, and both of you in your career in theater, just each of you, what advice do you have to give to people who are just starting out in theater, regardless of the age? Like, what are some of the things that you like to communicate to people when they're thinking that this is something they want to do? Oh, did I ask the hard question, or is this part of the Wesleyan thing?
Well, right. I might end up plugging again, but no, I want Moira to go first while I formulate my answer.
I think I would. I mean, it sounds trite, but the only thing I would say is just keep plugging away. If it's, if you're passionate about it and it's something that you really want to do and can't imagine not doing, then just keep doing it. I mean,
Yeah.
I have never stopped doing theater, since I was in high school.
I
Yeah.
love that.
And most of the time I didn't make any money at it. But, probably in the last 15, 20 years, I'm not making a living at it because I live in Nebraska.
Yeah.
But I certainly have kept working all the time and have been paid mostly. So
Nice.
That's great.
I just, just keep plugging away and don't expect to end up a movie star or on Broadway right away. But keep doing it. Keep learning.
doing it. Yeah.
Work with as many people as you can.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
For sure.
And for me, I would just, I'd say it's important to never stop. It sounds, again, cheesy, but to lose that sense of play. It's one of the only career paths or things that you can do where you you add discipline and structure and method, and you certainly have to, as you get older, approach it with maturity and intelligence, but you are constantly trying to go back to that place that we all were at when we were 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, of just being free with our imaginations and abandon, and anything we can think of, we can create. But similar to what Moira was saying, when I decided to go into education, there was a part of me that always thought, okay, so this is me putting aside any kind of ambition to continuing to be a professional actor or director or anything like that. But the truth is, I've never had to stop. I've never stopped, even as I've become full-time, lucky enough to be in a position where I'm still getting to have a major creative outlet, directing a couple of shows every year and guiding other students with their creative work. But I've never had to stop being a working actor and director and fight choreographer and different things I've gotten to do. And so it's this thing I now know that may not be my sole career, but it's something I never have to give up. I can continue to, add projects to my experience, which has been great.
Yeah.
Yes, diversifying is always a good plan if you're going to be a theater artist in Nebraska.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
Learn how to
indeed.
do a lot of things.
Don't just stick with one
for
thing.
sure.
So fight coordinator, that's part of some of the Shakespeare things that you've done, or is that separate from something else?
Both, probably.
I can definitely say that my background in stage combat started with Shakespeare, because my first real effort with that was a production of Romeo and Juliet that I did as a student at Wesleyan. And then the thing that really kind of sucked me in was also at Wesleyan, but it was a production of I Hate Hamlet, which is a really fun Paul Rudnick play that Terry Doman, who I know is a big Omaha fixture, trained me. This was a long time ago, but that was, I did a big fight in that. And then from there, I've gone on and kind of expanded training. I've worked with the Society of American Fight Directors. This summer, I'm going to go train with the Dueling Arts International group. And
nice.
So it's become a major part of my specialty, if that's something I can say. And I get to teach a class on it here. And
do you? Okay.
I typically stage a lot of the combat that we'll do in our production. So that's been a specific area that I've been able to focus on, but not to the degree a lot of friends of mine who just make it their whole life, and I'm amazed by what they can do. I know just enough to be dangerous.
Oh, I bet it's
really
hard.
Honest,
Yeah.
very good.
Moira
I know just
shaking her
enough to be
head.
safe. That's what I really
Yeah,
mean.
that's what.
I've known more than a few guys that have been associated with the Society of American Fight Directors and all that, and they are all very, very excellent. And are you actually certified at this time, or?
Yeah. I'm certified as an actor, advanced actor combatant.
Cool.
That's part of why it's one of those things you can keep going. I'd like to someday, be a certified trainer, and then you get all the way up to the very exciting title of fight master.
Yes.
But I may be getting a little up in years to have any ambition of getting there, and that's okay. That's okay. I like just kind of having one foot into that world, and it's been fun.
It is fun. I've done a little bit of it over the years. And,
Well, the Renaissance Fair.
With
but not the Rogers, I don't think.
No,
really?
no. But one of the Rogers is a certified instructor, and so he taught us a lot, and did a lot of fun stuff over the years. Yes, I fought with all kinds of silly things over the years because he gives me comedy things to do.
Oh, yeah, because you guys had the games.
Yeah, with
That's
the
what-
human
that's what I'm
combat
thinking
chess
of.
match, and
Yeah,
he
the chess
always,
match.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen those.
always does that, and I invariably I get something silly to fight with, like here you get a trident this time. Okay, cool, thanks.
Great, yeah.
So all right,
In,
whatever.
in this production, we have a couple of moments where Delaney fights herself. I fight myself. We have
Oh,
a couple of scuffles where we fight each other. There's a few moments. It's
pretty
very
fun.
very comic violence for this show.
Yeah.
Love it.
how would you do that?
You got to go see.
I know, like I'm trying to think, like how does that look?
You got to go see. You got to see it.
Well,
I
mean,
can't wait.
You have to go back and forth, maybe.
I
don't
can't
know.
wait. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm such a I love Shakespeare. I love watching it, and I like when people do fun little spins on it because I think it's still
Keeps it relevant.
well, and everything that he has seems to lend itself to. Hey, what if we did it this way? And it works. And I think it's just a testament to his work overall. And it sounds like you guys are going to do a great job. And well, come on, look who we're talking to. You guys are going to do a great job. And
We're looking at you.
I can't wait to. God, I hope I can see this. I think I can. And oh my gosh, break a leg in your rehearsals, break legs in the show, and that is of course 12th Night at the Benson Theatre. That is April 28th through the 30th. And Moira Mangiameli is directing it.
And they're having talkbacks.
Yes, and I was getting to that. And
sorry.
Ryan Kathman is in it, as well as Delaney Jackson. They are the two that are doing the whole of 12th Night, and they're having a post-show talkback on the 28th. And will that be, of course, at Benson Theatre right after the show, I'm assuming?
It will. It will, yep.
Excellent.
Awesome. Well, and tickets you can get at bensontheatre.org.
Very good.
Or you can go on our Facebook page as well.
Facebook. Okay,
Easy
great.
peasy.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to talk to you again, Moira, and so nice to meet you, Ryan.
Very nice to meet you.
Thanks, you guys. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank
Break all
you.
the legs.
Yes.
Thank you.
Be sure to see this fresh take on the Shakespearean play, Twelfth Night, at the Benson Theatre, April 28th, 29th, and 30th. Tickets can be purchased at bensontheatre.org. Thank you for listening and supporting the arts in the Platte River area and beyond. Please subscribe to our podcast so you are sure to catch all of our future episodes and join us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. See you next time on the Platte River Bard.